Welcome back to the Summer Solstice Virtual Music Expo Canadian Country Music Edition. I can't believe how much content we've had so far. The panelists, I want to thank Dave Woods. I want to thank Tim Hicks, Shane Neal. Great support from this event, Susie Corey as well. Hopefully you've had a chance to check out our expo area. We've got lots of great supporters and sponsors and exhibitors there. We've got our networking area as well. Lots of opportunity for you to connect with people, but I'm really excited now to be joined with David Boyd James. And David is a huge country music star. And I love your shows, David. Lots of great stuff. And if you have any questions for David, feel free to post them in the stage or the event area, and I will moderate them from here. But David, just to give you an idea, 4 million digital streams worldwide, 4-time CMA Ontario nominations in various categories, Factor Canada Recording Grant Award, iHeart Radio Future Star Award. And we're going to get into a little bit more of your all your awards and everything else, and we'll talk about Boots and Hearts as well, David. But welcome. Thanks for being on here.
Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate that intro. That was very, very kind of you. I'll make sure I e-transfer you $100 later.
Thanks. So, David, let's start from where I kind of started to get to know you, and that was, the story behind you having a job, and you quit that job, and you were sitting on a bench, and you kind of thought about your future, and you came up. You really wanted to pursue your dream, and thoughts become things is your mantra, right? So maybe talk about that time period, because maybe people aren't ready to quit a job to go into music or an area, but maybe they want to get some inspiration from you on making that jump from pursuing your dream. So why don't you talk about that?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to say thank you so much for having me a part of the Summer Solstice Virtual Music Expo. I really appreciate being here, and thank you for giving such a great platform for artists to come out and chat about their stories and share their insight on the industry. For me, I think the most important message for myself as an artist is just to encourage people to do whatever they want to do, whether it's music, cooking, teaching, dancing, you want to be a comedian, whatever it is that makes you happy, you got to surround yourself with that in your life. And for me, I was involved with music from a very, very young age. Too young to truly understand that it was my calling. I just enjoyed it. It was fun. And as I got older and got a real job, to pay the bills, I just started to realize that I had materialistic things, the things that I saw in the movies, a nice car, a nice condo, and a pretty girlfriend, and all the stuff that really doesn't matter. And I guess until you have it and you realize that doesn't make you happy, then you kind of go, well, now what? I thought this was supposed to make me happy. And friends used to come over to my house and, oh, you're so lucky, you have all these things. And I never quite understood why, I got it. I understood what they were saying, but internally I didn't feel lucky, if that makes sense. And not to be ungrateful. There's just internal happiness and external happiness. External happiness is what we see on Instagram, everyone living the perfect life that they want people to see. But on the inside, we're dealing with a lot of different things. And I think I just turned 37, and, at the age of 33, I went through this breakup, sudden breakup that forced me to sit down and just start looking at my life and just thinking about what am I doing? If I don't find happiness in the current things and activities that I'm doing, then I should stop doing that and start doing what I want to do. So the story goes, and it's a true story. I went to get my coffee and my muffin from Lola's in Toronto on Marine Parade Drive. And I went and sat at a bench, and I started eating my muffin and listening to, I was listening to Luke Bryan at the time. The song was Spring Breakdown. And I had it on my headphones, and there was a set of stairs in front of me. And I just had this epiphany. I had this vision of me walking down these stairs and someone, saying, make some noise for David Boyd James. And it was just this daydream out of nowhere. And I kind of took that as my sign, my sign from the universe saying, this is it. Like, this is what you got to do. And I know to some people watching that, are probably wondering, what the hell is he talking about? Science from the universe and all this stuff. And you don't have to believe in it. And I'm not here to preach on it, but that's just what happened to me. And, I ran with it, and I went home to mom and dad and said, I want to get back into music. I miss it. And I don't know how I'm going to do it. I didn't have any songs. I didn't have a band. I didn't have anything. And my parents were supportive, and they said, if that's really what you want to do, then go for it. And I sold some of the things that I had, and I left my condo, and I moved back home with mom and dad. And I literally went on Facebook and was like, who wants to be in a country band? It just sounds so ridiculous and naive looking back at it, but I think that's what you got to be. You're either all in or you're not. There, no idea is too silly. And and as I always say, thoughts become things, right? And the things that have happened in the last 3 years, I think is proof that it is a real thing. I was selling furnaces and air conditioners, and now I just signed a 3-year deal with Warner. So it's a lot of it is just crazy to think about, and it's overwhelming to think about. But I'm just so grateful that I had great parents, an amazing support system, family and friends, to help push me, and a band to truly carry me, through every single show. Because without them, I'd still be doing karaoke. So, it's been a blessing.
Awesome. One of the things I love about you is you're just so humble, and you've had such great success in a short amount of time, but you still thank your roots, your family, your fans. Like, you're always quick to respond and to fans on social media. So let's take it back to 2019, because that was really like a huge year for you. You won Boots and Hearts Emerging Artist Showcase. You released the debut single "Couldn't Hurt." It was co-written with country superstar James Barker, and then and others. And then you, like you mentioned, just recently had the 3-year deal, but back then that was with major record label Warner Music Canada that came up. So kind of take it back to that time period, and then what was going through it? Is it's like, wow, this is a turning point, and I'm going there? Is it just the start of hard work? What were you thinking? Where were you? What was on your mind at that point?
To get to Boots and Hearts, there was a lot of things that happened before Boots and Hearts, and Boots and Hearts was kind of the pinnacle, and I promised would be the last competition I ever did, because they are so stressful. It's so cool that you actually just had Tim Hicks on here. It would have been really cool for him and I to be able to have a minute to chat on your podcast here, because a really cool moment happened with him backstage at Boots and Hearts that year. And I just remember, being picked for the top 7 and getting there, or top 8 with the wild card, and getting there and just seeing the stage and seeing the lights and the cameras and the fans, and just thinking like, wow, man, this is so cool. How did I get here? I couldn't believe it. And I just remember telling my band and also myself, this is not a competition. This is not a life-changing opportunity. This is just a show. And I was confident and ready to go, and I got up on the stage and I reached out to grab the microphone to hit the first note, and I saw my hand trembling. And I don't get nervous ever, but this moment, it was like, you're here, man. This is it. This is your shot, you know. And I told myself, you know, pull it together, and just perform, you know. And that's what we did. And we ended up getting to the final, and then, you know, playing before Kane Brown and Jason Aldean on the main stage in front of like 30,000 people. And it was all just a blur, you know. But when they called my name as the winner, um, let me back up a little bit. I was standing backstage while Tim was out there playing. And I have so much respect for this guy because he's just a great dude, you know, and he's so talented. He's so great on the stage. And he's just a great guy. And I was standing side stage by myself, and I was watching Tim from the side, and the sun was hitting him perfectly, and there was a silhouette, but you couldn't tell it was Tim, but you knew it was a male country artist. And there was this moment where I was like, one day that could be me, you know, one day that could be me up there in front of a huge crowd. You know, and I look up to Tim, and I kind of got a little teary eyed in that moment, you know, because it was like a special thing, because it means so much to me, you know. And we got up on the stage, and they said, okay, we're going to call out, you know, the two finalists, and we're going to announce the winner. And as I was walking out, you know, Tim was coming in because he just finished his set. And Tim and I hadn't met yet, really, or talked. So, like, I knew who he was, and I didn't expect him to recognize or know me. But as he passed me, he's like, "Hey, Dave." He goes, "Good luck, man." Now, you know, to me, I was in shock. I thought, oh my God, like Tim Hicks knows who I am. Like, what? That's crazy, you know? And I just thought that was so cool that, you know, he did that, and he knew my name, and he called me by my name, and he said good luck to me. And I guess that just showed me, like, regardless of how big of a star you are or how famous you are or whatever, you know, we all start from somewhere. And you know, years back, Tim was in the same spot that I was in, you know, at the Boots and Hearts Award emerging artist thing. And you know, that was a real special moment for me. And when they called me as the winner, to answer your question, I mean, so much flashed through my mind, and all I could say to myself is, I am going to work my ass off with this opportunity that's given to me, and I'm going to show Boots and Hearts, and I'm going to show Warner Music, and show the fans. This isn't a singing contest, you know. This is a platform to really launch a career, and that's something I'm not going to take for granted. And it's funny, I won on a Sunday. I went to this VIP area and had like a couple of beers and watched Jason Aldean and Kane Brown's show. And halfway through Jason Aldean's set, we actually left early to try and beat some of the traffic. And I went home that night to my bench and sat on my bench and just kind of looked up to the sky, and not a religious thing. And I just said, thank you. You know, thank you, because when I walked out on that stage, Mark, I walked down a big set of stairs, and it was like, I get goosebumps telling the story, you know. I'm just like, I saw that 2 years ago, and now I'm here, and I have 3.5 minutes to go out on that stage and show 30,000 people and a panel of judges and representatives from Warner Music Canada why I should be the one that they invest in and work with. And I was just so grateful that I got that chance. And Monday morning, I sent an email to Steve Cody at Warner Music saying, you know, all right, boys, so, you know, when do we have our first meeting to get this on the go, you know? and and they thought that was hilarious. And, you know, they were like, go enjoy your summer, and we'll talk to you in the fall, kind of thing. You know, but I'm a workhorse, right? I want to go. So, but I mean, it's been incredible, I've said this in previous interviews and podcasts to other artists that are doing the Boots and Hearts thing, or other contests. Um, when I went in for my first meeting with Warner, um, I said to Steve Cody and Ron LaPata, head of A&R, I said, I know I'm here because I want a contest. But I don't want to be here because I want a contest. I want to be here because I deserve to be on the roster. I deserve to get that chance. And I know that this is a job interview, So I'm going to do my best to put out a great song, and hopefully, hopefully you're happy with the results, and we can keep making music. Um, and we put out Couldn't Hurt, and that came about with Aaron Allen calling me up and saying, hey, James Barker and myself and Joe Irving, we've been writing this song called Couldn't Hurt, and we're stuck on the second verse. Do you want to kind of just take a crack at it? It was never meant for me to have the song. It was just, as a co-writer, to help them out. And they loved what I did. And then I cut a demo of it, and James loved it, and Aaron loved it, and Joe loved it. A&R, Warner loved it. And then we said, hey, this is the single. This is the leading single. And it went out September 25th, 2020, was when that song was released, and it achieved some pretty great milestones over the last 7-8 months. So I'm very grateful for that.
Excellent. If you're just joining, my name is Marc Belaiche, president of the Canadian Music Expo. Welcome to the Summer Solstice Virtual Music Expo Country Music Edition. I'm here with David Boyd-Janes. David has been recognized as one of the one of country music's most promising new artists, and just really great story, and a great guy overall, and to follow. Make sure to check out. He's on Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music. So definitely check out David's information. So you've been 2021 off to a great start. You've received the iHeartRadio Future Star Award presented by Bell Media and Pure Country radio stations across Canada. You've been nominated for Male Artist of the Year for the 2021 CMA Ontario Country Music Awards that are taking place in September this year in Hamilton. And an album is in the works, and you're expecting to have that shortly. So why don't you talk about that? You've got 8 songs on the album.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We don't know exactly when the album is going to be released, because Couldn't Hurt is still at Country Radio. So I think this upcoming week we're having a meeting to discuss excuse me, to have a meeting to discuss the release of the record. But I'm really excited. Jeff Dalziel is executive producer on the album. He's he's an amazing dude, and does some incredible work, and super excited to have him as my producer. It's just a fun record. We've put a lot of work and time into it. And I'm really, really excited to put this one out.
Cool. And one of the songs is the song "Couldn't Hurt," right?
That's the current single at Country Radio now, and we're carrying that song over to put it onto the album, because we thought it was fitting, being my debut single with Warner was Couldn't Hurt, and now this record coming out with Warner. So we added the song to the record.
And talk about the song "Fool's Gold" and what it means to you.
How do you know about Fool's Gold? I'm really excited about that song. I'm excited about all the songs, but Fool's Gold to me, if someone wants to get to know me in 3.5 minutes, listen to this song Fool's Gold when it comes out. I feel, not long ago, a close friend of mine said to me, they said, Dave, you've changed a little. You seem like, I don't know, you seem like a grumpy old man. And we kind of laughed about it. And I said, no, I'm just tired of the nonsense, like, I'm just tired of people not being real. I'm tired of people just trying to put out this thing that they think other people want to see and hear. And I think the true happiness to, positive mental health, the true secret to being happy inside and outside is just being yourself and finding yourself and surrounding yourself with real things, because everything else is fool's gold, in my opinion. You know, um, I'm grateful for the accolades. I'm grateful for awards. I'm grateful for nominations. I'm grateful for, all of that stuff. Um, but the reason I'm doing this, and I'm speaking for myself, is because I love to write songs. I love to tell stories. I love to sing. I love to perform. I don't care about the fame. I don't care about the money. I'm doing it because this is truly my passion. And I don't have to work for this, you know, silly clown that I used to work for, that didn't appreciate me. So, I feel like when we get a little bit of fame or we get a little bit of success or money or whatever, people tend to change. People tend to forget where they came from and forget what got them there. And it's sad because so many times we see people get success and then it gets stripped away from them, and then they start having mental health issues, and turn to who knows what, you know. Um, and so I think it's important as an artist that is in the public eye and very accessible, to the fans. I think it's important that we pay attention to those things, because if we start believing our own hype and we start believing what we think we are, we will very quickly crash and burn, and then we as the person are left with, what is left of that. And I don't think I'll ever get used to going out on a stage in front of 10,000 people and then waking up alone in my hotel the next day and not having anything for 4 days, to going back to, being on a stage in front of 10,000 people. I mean, that lifestyle and the mental wear and tear that puts on a person, is really difficult. So I think if you stop paying attention to all the flashing lights and all that nonsense and just go out there and do what you love and play, and don't care if it's 10,000 or 10 people. I'll put on the same show at B-Sides in Toronto that I'm going to put on at Boots and Hearts next year on the main stage. And that stage at B-Sides is like the size of my kitchen, and my kitchen isn't very big, you know, because I love it, you know. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think it's just really important to remember why you're doing what you're doing, because that is ultimately going to carry you through, to the next round, or carry you through something like a pandemic. Doesn't matter how hard you work, you can't play shows. It doesn't matter how hard your drive is, you can't go out and see fans. So you got to get creative, and you got to find ways to continue pushing forward. And if fame and money and notoriety is what drives you, well, this pandemic has probably been really difficult for you, because there's no one to feed your ego. There's no one to stand in front of your shows and cheer for you. You can't sign autographs. You can't meet people. You can't I just did a whole radio tour across Canada, and it was all through my computer, so, it's, we got to remember why we're doing what we're doing, and all the fluff and all the, you know, the Hollywood stuff. Just, to me, I'm just not interested in it. I just want to make music and practice, and when that gate opens up and we can get back out there and play, we're gonna have one hell of a show for the fans to come out and party to.
Yeah. It's the old adage, do something you love and you don't feel like you're ever working at it. Right. So,
That's
so
right.
you, so really great and inspiring story, David. Like that's really awesome.
Thanks,
That
man.
you just this is a story, and I'm sure people watching will be inspired by what you're saying, and whatever whether it's music or something else that people want to chase their dreams to. One of the things, and we just have a few minutes left here, but one of the things that you're always, giving credit out to other people, which is great, and I love that quality about you. It's this and that. Let's talk about your band, because you always give a lot of credit to your band too, and the music, and it is real. Like if you've never seen David live, you got to go see him as soon as he comes back. Go to his first show, because the guy's really great live. I've seen you at least half a dozen times, David, at various venues. But talk about your band and how they've been working and with you, and what the band means to you.
My band is my family, and I love them. And I mean, they're the best group of guys. And Ben Miller is my music director, and the guy is just a workaholic. I mean, they all are. And the Ben and I sat down and chatted one day, and he said, Dave, you could really cut a lot of your band costs and touring costs if you just use tracks. And I looked him dead in his eye, and I said, we don't do that here. And he laughed, and he's like, God, I love you. For me, I work for the fans. My boss, my real boss, is the fans, and that's who I work for. And when I show up on that stage and do a show, I want the fans to walk away thinking, man, that was such a good time. Like, I had so much fun. There is absolutely no ego in my band with any of my players. They all are insanely talented. All of them are multi-instrumentalists. And they're just a good group of guys that love to play. And I think the one thing that they have said to me that they appreciate is artistically, there are no rules for me. Play what you want, do whatever you want to do. Let's just make it sound great, and let's put on a good show. And I think a lot of artists out there get stuck on this vision of, well, I want it to be like this, or I want my band to dress like this, or I want this or that. And it's like, nobody really cares, Like, it doesn't matter if you're all dressed in brown or black or purple or green. What matters is when you go on the stage, you put on a good show. And I think more and more people are starting to see that. And for me, I have a big band. There's 7 of us, and yeah, on the business side, does it take money out of my pocket? Of course it does, but I don't care, because we put on a good show. And when you come to see me play, it's going to be loud and fun and in your face, and it's going to be so much excitement. And that to me is the most important thing. Like Ed just said, making the connection with the fans. So for me, I'm very lucky and blessed to have the band that I do. And it's taking me over 3 years to build the band that I have. And I'm really, really excited to show the new show to the fans. So get your tickets when you see shows popping up, and come on out. And as for supporting other artists, I mean, Canadian country music is, I said it in 2019 at Boots, I said it's never been stronger, and I'm so proud to be a part of it. And that's the truth. I think it's a great time to be in Canadian country music, and I'm really excited.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, David. I wanted to just give a shout out to the 2 Christines, who are your super fans from C2C Canadian Country Music Insider. They follow you to every show. They post online on their Facebook and so on. But I think they had a run of never missing one of your shows for the longest time, driving to wherever you were performing, hanging out, making a weekend of it. But
those those young ladies are amazing human beings, and there's so many. I mean, the list is forever long of the supporters that do that, and I think that's amazing that they do that. You know, not just for me, but for a lot of different artists, and you really feel that. You know, if it feels like you know, every day is like your birthday. You know, when you have fans like that, and they're not fans, they're friends. You know, we started off, they actually met me because of you. I don't know if you know that. It was your music expo that I did 2 years ago, or 2 years ago, and they drove in from St. Catharines to meet me because they saw my cover of Kane Brown. And that's how I first met them, was at the music expo a couple of years
Oh, okay,
ago.
cool.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
they've been awesome supporters.
Excellent. Yeah, they're really great. Thanks, David. David Boyd Janes, follow him. He's on Facebook, Twitter. You've got Spotify, Apple Music. Any other ones you want to share?
Just go into Google and type my name, David Boyd Janes, and everything will come up on all the streaming platforms. You can message me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all at David Boyd Janes. My website is www.davidboydjanes.com. And again, thank you, Marc, for having me, and I really appreciate you doing this. And thanks again. It's been a lot of fun, and the new record's coming out soon, and keep an eye out for it. And I'll have some tickets waiting for you for the first show, wherever that happens to be. We'll have some tickets. We'll have some tickets for you, buddy.
I'm ready to go anywhere. I'll even go see the Wiggles for you. For God's sakes.
I think right now we'd pay about $49.95 to watch someone bang on a tin pot. So
exactly.
If you can do that, you'd love my show for sure.
All right. So coming up, we have a couple of live performances. Fresh Breath, Canadian country duo, indie rock and country and blues, gearing up for the return of live music. Joan Spalding is doing a live performance as well. She'll be in the sessions. She, after the pandemic hit, she was doing live shows every single day, 7 days a week. Country music, country musicians. So you want to check her out. And then I'll be back in about half an hour at 1:30 Eastern time, Toronto time, a conversation with Brian John Harwood, who's singer-songwriter, independent solo artist, and also half of Kansas Stone. So you want to check that out. And we have about an hour left in the event. Make sure to check out the networking, support the sessions, the music, the expo area. We've got lots of sponsors and exhibitors that are there waiting to talk to you. And again, thank you very much, David. Much success, and let's hope for a better second half of 2021 than the first half so far, right? So
thank you, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks so much. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. Thanks. Anytime, David.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah.